Okay, that was unintentional. Hope my network cooperates with me today and we don't have any glitch. Okay, the lighting is not the best because the sun is not yet out. It has been raining all night. I hope we have a very fun time today on stream. Welcome back to my channel. My name is King. I'm streaming from Nigeria, and today we'll be exploring poetry. As usual, we're still reading from this collection of Yeats poem, and we've been reading it for like since the time I started streaming. So getting on this. Um, Also, like I mentioned yesterday, there'll be a space for commentary. Yeah, we just chat about, I don't know, life stuff, things happening around us. Yeah, just a bit, and maybe somehow it might be connected to what we read in our in this book today, in this um, publication today. So it's kind of dark, but I don't want to shift it far away because then the network at the other end of the table like trips off. I don't know, maybe they don't get it's not getting signal from that end of the table, so I moved it closer. So it's a bit dark, but there's nothing I can do. It's the sunlight that is my main source of light. Yeah, so um anyways, get cozy. Let me adjust my sitting position. Oof. Okay, okay. So since people are not really joined the chat, I'll just take my time um finding out poetry that I would love to read. Yeah. We got started on this collection, um and last time we um read this, we did a little bit of a background on the author Yeats, and finding so much information about his background, helped me to see how how all of that affects his work. Sometimes before we read about his background, like there was this thing where we were reading some of the poetry and it was a bit clunky for me to read and process because I was not aware of some of the things, the context of what he was writing with. But now that I've found out more about his background and the life that he lived, a lot of the things I've read in the past make so much sense now. Yeah. And I don't know, I don't know, I don't remember but the last video that I talked about poetry was when we did all this background on Yeats and Ireland and his connection to Ireland, his connection to politics, and how he's romantic and all of that and all of that. Anyways, so we're reading this collection of poetry, to the rose or something, the rose, let me see, yeah, collection of poetry is called the rose, and we're reading so many poems in this collection, and it just felt like there was a lot of war cry, a lot of sadness, and there's this repetition of rose, rose, rose. And when I read up on his background, I realized that most of the way he writes, there's a theme of writing a letter to somebody that he loves or about somebody that he loves, and I was not fully aware of it. And then I read about Maud and how Maud never reciprocated his love for her, and so it made sense. Like reading about the rose, there's this poem that was about how angels and God would stop all the battle and all the warring if they saw her, and it was just like, oh, so that's the person I was talking about, because I was like, what do you mean the rose? What does that even mean? Yeah, but yeah, it made sense. So I feel like I need to read up more on his background and his history to be able to make even more sense of his works. Where was I? So the last poem we read was The Rose of Battle, and the next poem that I'm going to read from is this one following it, a fairy song. I don't know if you can see it, but a fairy song or a fairy song. The way they spell fairy is like Faery. Also, I have my notepad here, so we can take notes if we like, and also new vocabulary, like words that might be difficult for us to understand by themselves. I'm going to look up the meaning in my big dictionary. So the introduction to this poem, A Fairy Song, is sung by the people of Fairy over Diarmuid and Grania in their bridal sleep under a cromlech. There's a lot of native descriptive words or words that are indigenous to probably the Irish language, and indigenous to Ireland itself, like landscapes and all of that, like areas in the country, So they sound like they read as new words to me, but um, if I were to check, hello, God, hi, Didi. Okay, does Didi mean older? What does Didi mean? Explain it. I feel like Didi means older sister or something. Is that correct? I think I've heard it somewhere before. Big sister, yeah. Hi, welcome to the stream today. Today is a school day. Are you done with your classes today? Like, are you done with school or you have a break? I saw your pictures and I recognize you, obviously. Obviously. I knew you were the one even before I saw those pictures. How to say little brother in your language? Tell me, sir, I'll be calling you that. Hmm. What is the word for little brother? My day is not really gone far. It's just 1 p.m., but it has been good so far. Chota bye. Okay. Chota bye. That's so cool. I'll remember it. So anytime I see you now, I can call you Chota bye. Bye, bye, bye. So I wanted to read poetry today on stream, obviously, and small. I know "bye" means brother, or Sasiri essay. Hello, essay. Welcome to the stream. My name is King. From your name, I think you're a Nigerian. Welcome. I'm streaming from Nigeria as well. Where are you visiting me from? Where are you visiting me from? Oh, you're still not working. I'm fine. Oh, I'm reading poetry today for today's stream. We'll have a section where, after reading, we'll go through words that, like, are kind of were hard for me to understand in the context of the story. Lagos State, cool. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. How is your day going? I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. So, reading up on this poetry, like the poems that we're going to go through today, I'm going to highlight new words or new vocabulary that I don't understand. My name is King. Ah, sorry, I didn't say that. My name is King. Nickname, girl. Like, I have to think about it. Everybody needs my teddy bear. Teddy bear is here for us. Um, Nickname. My name is King Essay. What can I say as a nickname for you? I'll think about it. Don't worry. Hello, Abs. Welcome to the stream. My name is King, and I'm streaming from Nigeria. Where are you from, Abs? Yeah, King. Girl, I will think of a nickname for you, okay? Don't worry. I'll come up with something precious in my language for you. Yeah, okay. I would like him to tell me himself, but yeah, I could have passed that from his name, Bollywood vlog. Yeah, Bollywood. I can see that. Mm. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers this month. I know it's a possibility, okay? And also, I've been on YouTube for more than a decade. I think by now I should like at least have 1K subscribers. Thank you, Johan. Welcome to the stream. Where are you from, Johan? My name is King. I'm from Nigeria. What's okay? I think I can call you Johan. Yeah, not today. Today is just Tuesday now. Horror stories come around like towards the ending of the week, maybe Thursday or Wednesday. But Tuesday is early for movies. Like I have to do something like with my books. And tomorrow we're going to read this book Family. Then after Family we can now do horror movies or horror story. I'm from Den Haag, Holland. Nice to meet you, Nigerian. Oh, Johan, I've never had somebody from Holland on my stream before. You're welcome. Have a seat. Enjoy the vibes. My name is King, so I'm not really a queen in that sense. My name is King. You can say Nigerian King. Um, how is Holland this time of the year? I hope you have fun with me on my stream today. Today I'm reading from a poetry book, a collection that I have. The author of this publication is Yeats. I don't know if you're familiar with Yeats, but he's he's one of the pillars of English poetry. So thank you, girl. Thank you, my Jota. Bye. Everyone like and subscribe. Yes, please like and subscribe. um yeah, so poetry for today. Tomorrow I'll be reading from a book I started many weeks ago. Sorry, I'll be reading for us on stream. And hello Obi, welcome to the stream. My name is King. Today's focus is this poetry book. Um, I'm in Lagos. If you are new to the stream, subscribe, check out the other videos on my channel. I go live every day if I can help it. Why? Do you stay in Abuja, Obi? Are you from Abuja or do you live in Abuja? Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of time and then I'll start reading from my book today, my collection. Okay. even if I stayed in Abuja, I don't think like uh we would have connected more than on stream. Like I don't want to encourage any habit of meeting up people from stream. Like we wouldn't have met even if I was in Abuja. So mm, not really interested anytime soon in meeting people. That is why I'm streaming here. I'm not a fan of that kind of interaction. Mm. So after reading this poem, I'm going to ask like you guys come you guys feelings about the poem. I hope I read it properly so that you can understand it. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to ask you people like what you think about what you've heard or your feelings about it or what you understood from it. Yeah, just tell me whatever you feel like from the poem that I read. Okay. So this poem is titled A Fairy Song, and I hope you can hear me. My voice is not that loud, so just bear with me. We who are old, old and gay, oh so old. So in this context, I think gay just means happy, I guess. We who are old, old and gay, oh so old. Thousands of years, if all were told. Give to these children new from the world silence and love, and the long dew dropping hours of the night and the stars above. Give to these children new from the world rest far from men. Is anything better, anything better? Tell us it then, us who are old, old and gay, also old. Thousands of years, thousands of years, if all were told. So this poem is very, 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 very short. And it is a fairy song, so I assume the people that are speaking in this poem are fairies, yeah. And of course there's the nature of fairies that we've seen in like fiction over the years, that fairies are immortal, yeah. So they are obviously old, and like the poem goes, thousands and thousands of years old, and they're asking for children to receive love and silence, to receive rest far from men. I think in this era, like of his storytelling, of his writing, Ireland was going through turmoil. Yeah, I think there was a lot of political unrest in the country, and there were a lot of talks of their desire to be free from their colonial British masters. Yeah, the British were colonizing Ireland and Irish people. So when he's talking about fairies, asking for rest for the children, I think he's just like, talking about how maybe there's a wish for the country to be at rest and for children to not see war and civil unrest. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I got from the poem. I wonder if you got the same thing from the poem or if you even understood the poem at all. I hope my voice is carrying over well. The mic that I bought is not, I don't know why it's not working. I think it's fake. Maybe I don't know how to operate it. But yeah, tell me your thoughts about this poem, A Fairy Song. I'm listening. I'm waiting for it. The next poem I want to read is The Lake Isle of Innisfree. I can't chat on mobile, but like on if I was streaming through a laptop, I would be able to type out the title of the poems and lines in the poem, that touched me as I spoke. So, but since I can't chat on mobile streaming, maybe um just bear with me, okay? But I'm interested in hearing what you have to say about the first one that I just read. I'm moving on to the second one, The Lake Isle of Innisfree by Yeats. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. So as in Innisfree is a place. And a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. Saying while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey kind of make you realize that the speaker in this poem is speaking from a place of modernity, yeah, where roads are paved with concrete, and there are buildings, concrete buildings, and just metal gray everywhere. And the speaker is wishing for an easy life, just going, and it feels like it's something that he would do impulsively. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, yeah, and a small cabin built there of clay. So like building a house out of clay is kind of what very 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 natural and primitive. Hello Mercy, welcome to the stream. Thank you for your kind word. Blessings. I wish you blessings as well. Where are you joining us from? My name is King. I'm streaming from Nigeria. Where are you from? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, 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 Mercy. Mercy, Mercy. So I'm reading a poem. I'm reading poetry from this publication. If your name is Mercy from a French country, I don't know what else to say. Merci, the spelling sounds like the French word for thank you, merci, and I don't know, maybe you're from a French-speaking country. Is that correct? Is that correct? Um, yeah. So before you joined us, yeah, your name is French. Is what I said. No. Okay. So where are you from? Why are you joining me from, or joining us from? Why is that song in my mouth? So I'm reading a poetry book. Sorry, I'm out of guesses. It could be from anywhere. Like I just had somebody from Holland show up, which is cool. So like, tell me, it will still be a surprise. So yeah, Jamaica. Wow. I've never had somebody from Jamaica on my stream before. Wow. Like, don't Jamaicans, don't they speak Creole as well? Some places in Jamaica, do they speak Creole? Creole is like Creole, or yeah, Creole. Creole is French, have it at the base of it, of the language. Anyways, welcome to my stream. I'm from Nigeria. Hello, my name is King. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I hope you have a lovely time here on my stream, and you become a part of my community. Du- 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 Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nice meeting you as well. Nice meeting you, nice meeting you. Welcome to my stream. Never had somebody from Jamaica. Wow. I wonder how it is this time of the year in your country. Also, I love this flag. I love this flag. It's just so bold and green, and I like the flag. The green stands out in the flag. I said I love the Jamaican flag, and I also said, how is Jamaica this time of the year? How does Jamaica feel this time of year? Is the weather cold or hot, or what kind of weather do you guys have experienced in your country? It's, it's been raining all night till this morning, so it's a bit chilly over here. Good to hear. Good to hear. So like I was before you joined us, I was reading reading from this book. It's a poetry book collection by William Yeats. Since I'm very much interested in poetry here, I want to get through the entire book and then go over it again with some technical aid, maybe a textbook or something. But first of all, I want to read through the book and have my own ideas around his writing. I've had so many offers of me being a tour guide. Like, I think I would make a career out of it. I'll just add people to a group chat so that when you come, I'll take you around. Nigeria is a cool place to visit and tour, yeah? Yeah, sure. Show up as you like, I'll help you out as much as you want. Nigeria is a cool place to visit. So many new meals you can eat and places to see, I guess. I'm not really a party person, so I won't be able to take you on this whole partying, like, tour aspect of visiting Nigeria, but you can see the sights in the country, Then maybe one day when I visit Jamaica, you also be my tour guide. How about that? Mm. Cool. Okay. So I have read two poems from this book, and Philippines. That's cool. I heard that's a very cool country to see. It's good that you can take yourself on tour, so that's very, very interesting. Like, assume your life is interesting. Nice. Thank you for it. I appreciate the guide in countries that I visit. Philippines, I want to visit there as well to experience their food, to be a food tourist. Any reason I go to any country, like from now, is just I want to experience different kinds of meals and style of cooking. Take me. Sure. Is that not the joy of being a tour guide? You can take the person to places you deem interesting. Baby. Either ways, I'm sure Nigeria is. Yeah, I've not thought of it like that, um, but I can think about it. Like, if I have, you know, if everything works out, like, or when everything works out, and I begin to have some sort of freedom, I will be able to visit countries like yours, Jamaica. I've never actually thought of it there. I'll have to look up. Thank you for that kind word. Thank you for that kind word. I want to see mostly the food, yeah. I want to really experience you guys meals. I've seen so many pictures online, of mostly people that live not exactly in the country but like migrants here, that migrated or are living in other countries, and then they come together to make a meal, and I have to see, like, I see the pictures of their meals and I'm like, oh my god, I want to try it, yeah. I want to try to eat this thing. I want to try it out. I feel like I would enjoy it. So it's mostly food tourism, I think. I'm very interested in, maybe after I've eaten to my satisfaction, I can now start seeing the sights. I will try it out one day. I don't think we have those type of kitchens in our country or restaurants like that in our country though. Like, I don't think there's a place you could get native Jamaican food in our country. That's why, like, I'm going to travel to these places. Yeah, I want to take it from the source. I want to enjoy it on the source. I wonder what your favorite meal is, so that I can have it in my mind. Yeah, so I can have it in my mind when I come to your country. That the first thing I want to eat is what Mercy recommended. What is your favorite food to eat? Also, I know a lot of countries have this type of meals with lots and lots of sides and sauces and add-on and all of that. I want to try that platter. I'll always support you, and you do the same so we can grow together, okay? Okay. Sure. Do you have a channel as well? Each one help each one to do. Right. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. I will check out your channel after the stream and all that. Do, do, do. I'll check out your channel after the stream. Oof. Okay. What was I saying? I think I've said a lot about until 24 hours. Okay. Okay. Let me see everything first. You're already on my channel now, Abby. I don't think I understand. You said I shouldn't visit your channel until 24 hours. Hey, visit my channel first. This. Hello, Yanis. Hi. My name is King. Welcome to my stream. I'm streaming from Nigeria. Where are you from, Yanis? Where are you from? I don't understand, Mercy. You visit me first. Algeria! Wow. I've never had someone from Algeria on my stream. Welcome to my channel. I hope you feel comfortable. You enjoy the vibes here enough to stay. I had a friend though on Twitter that was from Algeria. She was so cool to me, so sweet and kind. So I have a very good impression of Algerians. I have a very good impression of people from Algeria. How are you today? How is your day going? I hope you're having a lovely day today. You are welcome. You are always welcome, Yanis. Everybody's inviting me to their country. Of course. Of course, I have to visit Algeria. Yeah. Messi, I get it. I get you. When I'm done, I will. Hello, Brian. Hello, Brian from Kenya. Nice to meet you. I'm from Nigeria. I'm streaming from Nigeria. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you for visiting my chat. Yanis, I will come to visit and you will host me, okay? I want to enjoy Algeria's what to say, food. Yeah, I want to enjoy Algeria's food. I want to do a food tour. Like if it's possible to do a food tour all over the globe, like I will do that. Like I want to visit every country and try their food. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the idea of tasting new things. Okay, no wala. Let's see. Thank you. Um, thank you, Yanis. You be my host. I'll hold you to that. You be my host when I visit Algeria, okay? I'll not forget. Hello, Brian. How is your day going today? Thank you for visiting my stream. I hope you feel comfortable. I hope the vibes are cool enough for you to stay, okay? Um, thank you, Yanis. That's so kind of you to offer. Everybody that has come onto my stream, most of them invite me to their country, yeah. So I assume you have plenty things to show me and plenty things for me to enjoy, in your country. So I'm going to look forward to visiting Algeria. Maybe I should start to make a list of people that have invited me to their country. Yesterday, I think I've had somebody from Belgium, yeah. I've had somebody from Belgium. I've had somebody from my friend now from Jamaica as well has invited me. So Jamaica, Algeria, like up the live guys as you come. Oh, thank you, Messi. Yeah, like the live. It helps the channel if you come when you come in. Where else? India. Oh my god, I've had so many requests from my friends from India. They are so friendly. They've been nice to me. Um, Passing the comments. Okay, how to pass the comment? I should just read it out loud. I don't understand. How can I pass the comments? How to pass comments? Okay, so for those that are just joining me, I just want to say that today is actually a day for poetry from this book, okay? And I've read like two poems already. The fairy song or a fairy song. No. I'm not. I read it now. You said I should watch your last video. I said I will. I said I would after I was done with my video. After I was done with my stream. I don't know if my network is glitching for you guys because it seems as if maybe after I speak, you guys hear me or something. Is it lagging for you guys? Like my stream? I don't know if my network is lagging. I get it. Go. Um, Hi Wilson. Go for the Instagram for now, yeah. I want to make an event out of following, so I'm not going to follow back for now. I don't understand, Messi. Hello, Wilson. Where are you from? My name is King. I'm from Nigeria. Welcome to my stream. You know what, Messi? Why don't you just Um, I think you should just um leave it. Yeah, just leave it. Um, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to subscribe here. You don't have to support me here because I can't do anything for now. I'm still on stream, so I can't leave my streaming and go do something else because I'm on mobile stream. Hello, hello, Akbar. Like, I'm paying attention to everybody on the stream. Yeah, I can't just you don't have to do anything. Don't worry, don't do anything for me. I don't want it to be as if I'm not fulfilling some kind of expectation. So don't do anything for me, and I won't do anything. Yeah, just leave it. Thank you for showing up at all. I appreciate it. So that it will not become too. Gurav, if you want me to follow you back, and like for now, I'm not following anybody back. If you don't like that, you can unfollow me. Yeah, it's not a serious matter. You can unfollow me. Um, I don't understand. Like you said, I'm not following you back, and I said I'm not going to follow people back for now on Instagram because I'm not sure about the account yet. But you were kind of questioning it like you didn't understand. So it's like if you don't like that kind of arrangement, you can unfollow me. Okay. Hello Akbar, welcome to my stream. My name is King. I don't know. I think I have to make it clear. I have to make it clear, like, if you have this level of expectation for me to do something for you, and I said I'm going to do it, and I said I'm going to do it, and right now I'm on stream, I can't leave my stream to go and follow your account, Messi, or watch your video. I already told you I would watch your video when I was done. I already told you I would do everything when I was done on my stream, and you're like, I'm passing your comment, don't subscribe, it's okay. Yeah. Hello Akbar, welcome to the stream. So I don't know, like, let me just not, like, I don't know, it's just kind of confusing. Like, how many people, like, it's just confusing for me, I guess, right now. I guess Akbar is saying Assalamu alaikum, which is a greeting. Alaikum salam, Akbar. I hope that is eloquent. You understood me. I hope you understood me. Yeah, so there is no tit for tat going on here. So if you feel like to support me, I should support you back. And I said, and you don't like the way it's going, you can just not support me, okay? That's fine. That's fine. It's kind of overwhelming. Yes, it is paradise. My big brother told it for all of us in the family, like 2024, I think, early 2024. So, yeah, this is my own outfit. This is my own, what do you call it? My own, what do you call it? Material. Agba, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Yeah, Ishago. That's the name. Oh, Agba, I don't understand. Sorry. Kub Surat. I think that's a nice word from the Indian movies I've seen. Kubsurat. There's a movie titled Kubsurat, yeah, and I've seen that movie. Yeah, it's Ishagu Paradise. Where are you from? Are you an evil person as well? And I guess you're streaming from Nigeria. I'm also streaming from Nigeria. My name is King. Welcome to the chat. Mercy. I don't know. If I don't understand, then no problem. I don't just understand what you're trying to say. You're not talking about that host. Don't take it there. I'm telling different something. Just don't get me. Okay. I don't understand. I feel maybe I don't understand what you're trying to say, but it just read that way to me. I was not even expecting anybody to mention my outfits. It's such a surprise, I guess, that somebody recognized it. I live in England. Yeah. Oh, nothing happened. Nothing happened. I'm just wearing it for vibes. Yeah. Just I never wore it during the holidays, so I said I'll wear it. Today. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. It's just family outfit. Um, you live in England. Oh, I don't understand Igbo. Sorry, but I get this that you said you are an Igbo person. So cool to meet you. Thank you, Messi, for lighting up my chat. Thank you for being here. Either always I appreciate your presence and your kind words and inviting me to your country. It was cool. It was cool. Thank you. Um, India. Oh, I have so many Indian friends here. Very cool people on stream. Akbar. Where in England do you stay? Paradise. Where in England do you stay? I'm based in Nigeria right now. So I wasn't talking about your well, where did we get through saying something like that? Oh no, I don't think I mentioned anything about my clothing throughout the stream. It's just when you mentioned the comment, I you asked me if this is an Igbo attire and I said yes. And then you mentioned the name of the attire and I said yes. And I started telling you where I got it from and how and all of that. So I didn't speak about my clothing all through the stream until you mentioned it. Thank you, Pyromane. Undying Pyromane. That's such an interesting name. Oh, thank you so much. My name is King. I'm streaming from Nigeria. Welcome to my chat. Welcome to my channel. Hi, hi. Your name is so interesting. I'm going to record it. Oh, that is a compliment. Crazy cruisers. I mean, I live in Winchester area in England. So yeah, no, I'm not Yoruba. I just live in Lagos. Greetings from Germany. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've never had somebody from Germany, so you're welcome to my stream. I have a first time visitor from Germany. Welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy the vibes here. Let me write your name down. Undying Pyramid. Okay, today the plan. I was saying I'm reading this book. I'm reading poems from this book. Yeah. I think you're sweet to just come like onto my chat for the first time and like give me so much nice compliment. I really appreciate that. So I think you're a sweet person too. I'm off work today on holiday this week. Oh, that's good. I always encourage people to take time off work, please. Like the working system in this world just sucks. So crazy cruises. I'm reading poems from this my collection, like this book I got. It is um a book, the works of Yeats. Yeats is a very, 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 very like very important poet, and he's one of the pillars of English poetry. Yeah, so I've always wanted to check out his work, so I found this book at the second-hand bookstore, and it was cool. I've been reading it for a while, so like let me just introduce you to the stream. Not today. I've been reading it over like since I started streaming. Yeah, and today I have this poem that I decided to read with us. Muje Africa Menjane. I think that means I want to visit Africa. That's where I got that. Muje means I want to, yeah. Menjane ke bad. I don't get the rest of the sentences, sorry. I don't really understand your language, Akbar, but I feel like maybe you're saying you want to visit Africa. In that case, Africa is open to everybody. Today on holiday, like what kind of holiday are you celebrating today, Paradise? What kind of holiday are you celebrating today? So so far, like since somebody already asked about what I'm doing, can I start to read the poems now? Can I read some of the poems now? I've already gone through two of them. titled A Fairy Song and the Lake of Innisfree. So, and then the Lake of Innisfree, what I said about it was that people, like, it's about this, the speaker was speaking about a desire uh, to visit. Oh, work leave. Okay, okay, okay. No, I'm not a linguist. I wish I was a linguist. No, I'm not a linguist. I'm just very interested in English literature, classic literature, like the classics, and including poetry. Yeah, very very interested in that. I'm also interested in art history, so I read a lot of books on my stream. Tomorrow we are reading from a book I already started previously on the stream. So I have moments like days in my stream I dedicate to reading. And yesterday was Monday, so I did mathematics yesterday on stream. You can check out the videos in my channel. So Mondays are for maths and social commentary, like some sort of level of conversations about everything and nothing at the same time. But today I want to make it about it for now until I get another book of poetry, which is um, the other poet I'm trying to find their work is this woman. This English woman. What is her name? What is her name? What is her name? Very simple name. So what did you study? I like Greco-Roman history personally. In fact, I named my son Roman. Oh my God! Wow! I'm so happy you came onto my stream. Please tell me everything about what like your interest. Yeah. I studied economics in school actually. Greco-Roman history. Wow, wow. So, do you know, mentioning that is actually interesting because I recently found these books at my bookshop, like the second-hand bookstore I usually go to buy books from. There is this author that I'm reading also as well, The Golden Ass by Apuleius. I don't know if you can see the name of the author properly, but his name is Apuleius. And I love the story so much because, like, I was intrigued. Yeah, because the premise of the story is about this man that is interested in witchcraft that goes on a holiday, and then he sees that his host wife is a witch, and he tries to turn himself into an animal just like the host wife, but then a mistake happens and he turns into a donkey. Like, it's so interesting. But the thing about this book, why I'm mentioning it, is because there's a lot of like the storytelling of people from these times are the style of storytelling is very comprehensive. I feel like I need to have some technical know-how to navigate my reading of it, but still I'm reading it as just as it is. Yeah, and there's a lot of storytelling, there's a lot of talking about like the god of Aesculapius, and there is Thessaly conversation, like people from Thessaly. There is now right now in the story I'm where the goddess Venus, like of beauty and all of that, she feels jealous that people are praising one little girl in her town, calling her a beauty, and she's so jealous she's coming with all of her other gods, like to come and attack this girl. And so her parents like offer a sacrifice to Venus to appease her, and then then Apollo tells them that the way to appease Venus is that the girl will never have to marry, she'll just have to be buried. Like, she'll have to be, yeah, you hold a funeral service for her because she will never get married. She'll instead be dedicated to one of the gods and all of that. So, like, I don't know. No, it was not Jane Austen. It was not Jane Austen. Is this person something Thomas something, like, I think her name has Thompson in it. This woman. I have so many pictures of her poet in my phone, of her poetry on my phone, yeah. And I want to really find her books, but like, oh God, I need to remember. Oh my God. And like, she's a poet. I'll remember it, I'll remember it, I'll remember it, I'll remember it. The thing about streaming on my phone is that I can't like go off to like check something online. Yeah, if I was using a laptop now, it would have been easier. But NEPA situation in Nigeria. Yeah, I know Jane Austen. Of course, like, bro, like, I read, so I've Jane Austen. Of course, I know Jane Austen. um, things on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember it. So, what was I saying? What was I saying? So, Greco-Roman history you're talking about. I feel like you'd enjoy books like this. There's also this other book. I don't know if you okay. when you mentioned your interest in Greco-Roman history, do you also read, like, of course, maybe you should read fiction around those kind of things, because there's this specific book I got that I tried to read. Um, I tried to read. It was kind of difficult because I wanted to read the introduction to this to the story. Yeah, I don't even think it was like stories. I think it's more like prose, like chapters of prose. Yeah, but very very ancient, that this time period you're talking about. I don't know if I should bring it and show you first. Let me bring it and show you. Wait, but your son named Roman, is he, how old is he? I feel like that's a very cool name, Roman. Oh my god. I'm coming. Let me bring that book. So, um, this is the book here. Aristophanes. Is that the pronunciation? Aristophanes. You can see the art of the book is like this old, like classic drawings, like the way all these drawings look like on like old on the wall, like all these drawings that older civilizations, yes, put on the wall, like made on the wall, like you can barely make it out. Romans conquered Britain already for 400 years. They gave Britain her name. I do not know that. I did not know that. Imagine. So even the history of Britain is not even free of colonialism. Yeah, it's not free of colonial masters. So they are not even the conversations that the most popular conversations right now about Britain, and people that feel that the country is their own because of the way they look like or the color of their skin. Yeah, those people too, I feel like they don't even know their history, because if they knew their history as well as up to this point, they would realize that there's no real place that belongs to anybody. Yeah, where were they shipped from, where were their ancestors shipped from, and then the people that ruled over them as masters, did they not have children with these people? So like you cannot really claim to be some kind of original of any part of a country or any place in the world, because we are all intertwined historically. Yeah, but because people don't read history, people don't make research. They built London. London was built by Romans, called Londonium, which was a Latin word. I have to look all of this up, bro. Like, let me make notes, please. Let me make notes. Oh my god, I'm learning something wonderful today. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Okay, let me look it up. Londonium. Londonium. Building London. Done by Romans. So like they were not even the ones that built their country. How about that? So why are they so loud about how their country is their own? So keep sending me interesting tidbits about their history. I am very very interested. So it's not we're not reading this today, and we're not reading Aristophanes today. What we're reading is poetry. Okay, so what I want to do is, like, I want to read one poem now, and then I wonder what you think about it. Yeah, I wonder what you'd get or interpret from this. So this is written by Yeats, and Yeats, one thing you have to know about Yeats is that maybe everybody knows about him. Yeats suffered from unrequited love for most of his life. This woman he was in love with was not in love with him, and despite everything he did for her, like not for her, but everywhere he tried to show her that he wanted her, she was not interested. Yeah, she rejected him, and then he moved on to her daughter, and her daughter also rejected him, and then he eventually got married to one lady, but eventually him and that lady, it was not they later became very, very close. It wasn't like as if he was forced to be there. Yeah, he wanted to be with her because they now bonded on something that was very, very interesting to both of them, which is automatic writing. And automatic writing is when this woman will take a piece of paper and she will let the spirits communicate through her, and then she'll start writing things down. And he wrote an entire collection of his later works in his life, towards his old age. He wrote it around this automatic writing that this woman did, and they had two children, a boy and a girl, and it was cool, and he ended up being a senator, all of that information. Yeah, so like so many things about it. Also the fact that at first he was very, what books what books are you doing, Chotabai? What are you doing? Which work are you? Your school work? Don't be tired, please be serious about your studies, okay? What books? So I was talking about like Yates here. So Yates has these very ambivalent feelings towards Irish, um, like their, what do you call it, independence, their independence movement from their colonial masters, Britain. He was very ambivalent. He didn't like the fact that it caused a lot of suffering, to be free from their masters, and he also had a bit of Anglo background. Yeah, he went to school in England. Yeah, so he went to school in England. Let me write Colchester down. So he went to school in England. So I think his relationship with the people that he met there and relationships he formed from friendships there probably influenced, his kind of not so hot, like hotness towards this Irish desire to be free. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was ambivalent, but he was not to the part of being like an opposition to them. He just resented it. He had a lot of resentment for the movement, especially also because the woman that he was in love with all of his life was very serious about Irish freedom, Ireland, and the independence of the country. She was very serious about it, and I'm sure most of it took up her attention. She didn't have time for him or his any interest. She didn't even have any interest in his love or whatever I get. So that's one thing you have to know about Yeats. I once got a walk at Colchester, England. Colchester was the first city in Britain built by the Romans. The ancient walls of the city can be seen. It was built around the time of the death of Christ. Oh, okay, you walked there. Wow, so you have, like, you saw all of those, you saw the ruins, yeah? Wow, that felt very nice for you because you're interested in it. So let me look it up though. Colchester, built by the Romans. Is this what they used to call, like, I don't know if you're a man. Are you a man? There's this thing that was going around one time earlier this year about their own Roman Empire, like men and their interest in the Roman Empire and all of that. Yeah. Wait, if it was built around the time of death of Christ, that's like what? And the ruins are still present in the country till now. Oh my God! Wow. Wow. Is it like they obviously maybe they are preserving, they're preserving it here? Time of death of Christ. That's so long ago and it's still around till now. Wow. Gora, why are you tired? Why did you have to say it like that? Like, yes, I mean, man. It's just funny to me. It's not like there's anything wrong with that. It's just funny to me. Okay, so I wanted to know how to refer to you. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So like it's going along with what people were saying. Now that don't ask a man about his interest in the Roman Empire because you'd get the whole dissertation and all of that. Wow. That's interesting. I've never actually thought about the Roman Empire for once in my life. But it's interesting to hear about it, especially about Britain. Britain that is like one of these noisy countries now about being a whatever. What books is Gora talking about? Books, Chutabai, what are you talking about? What books are you talking about? Are you done with school for today? And you guys are like 4 hours ahead of us, so yeah, probably. Charles. Hello, Charles. Welcome. Nice to meet you, Charles. Nice to meet you. Cool, 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 cool. If you want to share pictures with me, you can follow my Instagram. It's on the description. It's in the description of this video. Maybe you have pictures of those ruins. Paradise, whatever. She probably had a plan now. She probably had a plan to, like, use your channel or something. Or have to change the name. It's not bad. Paradise is not a bad name, to be honest. Paradise is not a bad name. Um, yeah. So let me read this poem before we go on chatting. Yeah. Poem is a cradle song. Now let me read it. The angels are stooping above your bed. They weary of trooping with the whimpering dead. God's laughing in heaven to see you so good. The sailing seven are gay with his mood. I sigh that kiss you, for I must own that I shall miss you when you have grown. So, like, this feels like a parent-child story, a parent-child conversation. Yeah, the angels are stooping over above your bed. Be wary of trooping with the whimpering dead. God is laughing in heaven to see you so good. The sailing seven are gay with his mood. I sigh that kiss you, for I must own that I shall miss you when you have grown. Obviously, a cradle song refers to, like, obviously is alluding to a child, or an infant or a toddler, whatever. It's just a child, and maybe a parent to a child, a parent song for a child, for their child. Yeah. It's very, very sweet, it's very short, and it's very succinct. One thing about Yeats is that he uses a lot of religious imageries. Even though something interesting about Yeats is that he grew up in an atheist family. He was raised atheist, yeah, but then he grew up to now have two opposing interests. One interest in the occult, yeah, and one interest in orthodoxy, that is Christianity, as an Irish person, yeah. So he knows, he was very much aware of how these two aspects of his interest, were opposing each other, were very, 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 very antithetical to each other. And so he created two personas for these two sides of his what do you call it? His belief system, let's just call it that. And he made persons out of these two belief systems, yeah. A Mr. Owens and Mr. What's his name? I made notes of this last week. I don't know where I kept the notes. A Mr. Owen and a Mr. Michael Roberts. Owen Ahern and Michael Roberts. So I think that is interesting, like, to kind of, and then those two personas he made up here, they really reflected in his works. You understand? Like, he wrote poems and poetry as if Mr. Owens was speaking and as if Mr. Michael was speaking, and sometimes those two got into, like, arguments with each other, like, kind of like fights with each other. Yeah. So whenever I see, now that I know this background, before I was not aware of this background, so now that I know this background of, he's that is religious and all of that, like, he's not religious, he's more of like, what do you call it, two-sided, yeah, about religion, and then he's also on the side of the occult, yeah. um it makes it just makes it interesting to read. Yeah, this is someone that grew up as an atheist or was raised in an atheist home. Yeah, for him to pick up this interest, which is, it's just interesting, and for it to influence his work so good. Yeah, it's interesting. Talking about God laughing in heaven, talking about the angels. The last poem we read last week was about Michael the archangel. And at first, when I started reading it without knowing his background, I fully believed he was a Catholic. Yeah, there's so much religious imagery to his writings, yeah. So I think it's just interesting to develop an interest that, now reflects in all of your works as an artist or as a writer or as a poet. Like, it's so, so cool for me. Yeah, it's kind of how, like, you kind of create this enmeshing of self with the art that I feel like these days when people talk about separating the art from the artist, I don't think I can separate the art from the artist, you know. So there are, my liking of somebody that makes art is very, very like, how to say it, volatile, in the sense that if they just, it's not volatile, it's just, it's not something that I take so deeply, because I know that people can change, people can have changes in their personality, in their goals, in their desires, and to always reflect in their art. To changes in their own systems of beliefs, it will always reflect in their art. And it's like, I cannot enjoy an art fully that comes from a person that does not, have a level of, how to say it, that does not have a personality that reflects some of my own personal beliefs or whatever. Yeah, basically, yeah. So, but this poem is very simple, it's very interesting, but then it's just straightforward. Yeah, it feels as if it's straightforward, and I wonder if anybody got any other thing out of it. Yeah, from this poem. Yeah, talking about the fact that a parent will miss a child when they are grown is interesting. Yeah, because it's like, it feels, when I read it here, it felt as if I was seeing somebody when he said I shall miss you. Then I now saw the final line. When I saw I shall miss you, I thought maybe the child was going somewhere, or the child was, disappearing off into the sunset somewhere. But it's just growth, that the parent is acknowledging that, oh, I will miss you, and I think that is a conversation about how children are autonomous. Yeah, they are their own fully fledged beings. Okay, and when they are children, when they are babies, it's very easy for parents to get lost in the identity of themselves and this child. Yeah, they can begin to see themselves in the child, or see the child, or the child begins to see themselves in their parent. And there's a psychological study around this aspect of it. Like, there was one time I was thinking about this thing where in my life, yeah, I was thinking about how I was trying to make peace with being alone, alone in the world. And it was kind of scary to me, but then I was not reading some kind of paper about it, and then I think they now use this model of mother and child to kind of reflect how you are not truly alone in when you are alone. I don't know if that makes sense. I made a whole video about it. It's on my channel, like being alone and all of that. Read us Kipling's popular poem called If. Rudyard. I've heard of the son named Kipling, but I haven't read any of his works, I'm afraid. And I don't have any of his publications with me, so I can't read that right now. Like I said, on mobile streaming here, it's hard for me to, I can't go off of streaming to do something else with my phone. And you know how NEPA people are in this country now, so no lights. I cannot use my laptop, it will die, all of that. Normally, I'm supposed to use my laptop to stream, but because there's no lights, all those wahala. So I used to use my phone because I know I can charge with my power bank if it dies. But my laptop is just can't use it. If I was able to use my laptop, I'll be able to go online and see, what you're talking about and even read it out. But maybe I'll just make a note of it. Probably if you show up in the next stream, maybe after reading tomorrow, the book was supposed to read tomorrow, then I'll write out the poem for you, then I'll read it and can discuss it maybe towards the end of tomorrow's stream. How about that? How about that? I've heard of Kipling, yeah. I've heard of Kipling, but I haven't really paid attention to his work. But I've made a note of it, so I'll look it up after the stream. And maybe I might even come online later today. I don't know. Anyways, just stick around. We'll talk about all of that. Yeah, we'll check it out. Tomorrow we can do it after I've read the book of the day or the chapters of the day. Tomorrow from the book I'm reading. I'm reading that book. I'll soon be done with it. It's a very it's not short, but the writings and the editing of the pages, the formatting of the pages makes it very easy to get through the chapters. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll do that. So what was I saying? I was saying something about being alone and children and their parents. And the paper was, it's just a, let me know when be online again tomorrow. I'll be online around 12. No, let me just say 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock tomorrow I'll be online. 1 p.m. tomorrow I'll be online. Willing, everything falls into place. My, let's say I'm able to find light to charge my phone, and then data wahala, Yesterday it was so bad, yeah. My network was just going off and on because my MTN finished, like my data finished and all of that. So I now have to use my Airtel Boroboro to do this sub that I'm using today. So like sub matter and all of that, yeah. My network just glitched. Oh my god. It's just the main issue for me, yeah, because my channel is kind of small. The main issue for me is just trying to, make sure I have data, data while and all of that. And MTN now, MTN is the most reliable network in this country for all of this type of stuff, yeah. But MTN is kind of greedy, not kind of, MTN is just plain greedy, yeah. Their subscription plans are extreme and exorbitant. So I had that whole thing where yesterday it just went up because it has finished here. Because I stream every day, like Monday to Sunday to Sunday. I stream every day. So I stream like maybe 2 hours a day. All of that is taking data. All of that. So. I don't want to complain. Like I don't want to do as if I'm, whatever. I just wanted to let you know so that tomorrow, hopefully, if my data is not finished, and or maybe somehow money falls into my lap, I'll buy data so that I can do subscription for tomorrow's stream. But I don't think it will finish today, Sha. I don't think it might finish after tomorrow's stream, but anyways, I'll show up tomorrow. I'll do my best to make sure everything falls into place for show up tomorrow. Yeah, that's just every time I'm on stream, I'm always talking about MC. If MC is not glitching, Airtel is shutting off their network for my, like, for no reason, just off the network. Why? So I was just talking about how this whole thing where parents, kind of feel like they lose their child, when their child becomes an adult, when a child begins to make decisions for themselves, and is, I don't think they're even aware. Some of them are even aware that they are feeling this panic about losing their children. Um, yeah, they feel that. I don't think they are well feeling this panic about losing their kids. I think they just assume the increased surveillance of their children's lives. They feel as if it's them being protective, it's them keeping the child safe. But I feel like if they take a moment to reflect on where that feeling, that heightened sense of fear is coming from, they'll realize that they are feeling the inevitable separation coming. The full sentence that comes upon a child when they realize that, oh, I am my own human being, and I can, this life I came to is for me, so I can make decisions by myself. Of course, I love my parents, but they're not always going to agree with the things that I choose to do in my life or how I choose to live my life. All of those things, it starts to show up. That's why people say things like, oh, in puberty, children become monsters and all of that. And it's like, it's not exactly becoming monsters. It's just kind of growing pains, yeah, growing out of the box that they have lived their entire lives as kids, and then coming into this forceful awareness that they are not kids, like they are now stepping into autonomy, yeah. And if they are in an environment that these parents tighten the noose on them, they will be feeling it subconsciously. I don't think any child going through puberty consciously feels, not all of them, maybe some of them, but I don't think most of them feel as if um, their parents are being excessively controlling over their lives. I think it's a subconscious feeling, yeah, just this innate resentment of being put or living inside of this box of being a child to somebody or being somebody's child, yeah. So it's coming from this poem where the way they say it as if this child is dying, yeah, but it's just growth, it's just change, it's just, so like it's just kind of like I feel like it's a lovely poem, and I think it's something that maybe you can read to a child on their birthday when they are maybe 21, full grown adults, or 18, and it's like, oh, this is my letter to you. Because me, I believe in letter writing, yeah. So I feel like it's something I would do if I was in a position like that, like maybe a child, having a child or whatever. I just write a letter for them and be like, oh, my child, you've grown, take. Good morning, Tyros. I was wondering about you. How are you? It's morning in your side here. We are already into the afternoon, like not late afternoon, but early afternoon. Thank you for joining my stream today. How are you? How is work this week? How is work going for you this week? Um, I hope things are working out for you. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. An easy day of it today, because I know your job is very hectic. I hope you're having a wonderful, like, easy time today, at least. I am fine. Thank you for asking. I'm fine. The rain fell all through the night. It was cool. I like the sound of rain when I'm sleeping, yeah. I don't like it so much during the day and I have to go out. Okay, it's 9:30 there. Wow. You guys are like, I think it should be almost 2 o'clock now, or nearing 3 o'clock now here. I've spoken about time difference before here. 9:30 a.m. Oh, thank you, Dyrus. Thank you so much for the compliment. People like the shirts. I also like red on me. I have a lot of red clothes, like clothing items. Yeah, people like the shirts. Thank you, thank you. I also like it. That's why I decided to wear it today. I never worn it before, so this is my first time launching this clothes. I like that. I'm happy that people are giving it so many compliments. Yeah. So Tyrus, you join us now, but like we're reading poetry from this book by Yeats. I don't know if you're familiar with Yeats or his work. He's an Irish poet. Royal blue is a cool color. It's a cool color, but I don't think I seek out clothes that have that shade. I don't think I'm a fan of the color. Royal blue is cool. I like it on things. I like it in paintings. I like it in other things, but like I don't think I have any single outfit that is that color. I'm not sure. I have a lot of clothes. So I'm reading this poem, and this poem we just finished reading is a cradle song. A cradle song has themes of a parent, making peace. Yeah, a cradle song has themes of a parent making peace with being separated from their child. And it's not as if it's a physical separation, it's more like a separation of, like, a mental level of separation. That is the child growing into adulthood. Okay, I don't know if you want me, if you don't mind, I can read it for you again. And this poem has religious themes, okay, about God and angels watching over a child as they sleep. How God loves, seeing this child, sleep and basically, be happy. But the parent is sighing, and the parent is sad, and the parent is talking about how they're going to miss this child when the child is grown. And then that made me start to think about how, first of all, this author is grew up as an atheist, but then picked up all these beliefs along his life, and it's reflected in his art. And by beliefs, I mean orthodoxy, Christianity, and also occult beliefs. Yeah. So aside that, I started thinking about how the way the poem was reading, it read as if they were get to this point where maybe something happened to the child. Maybe the child died, and the parent is missing the child, but no, it's just growing. It's just great. The child is just going to grow up, and the parents are already missing the child. When that happens, like thinking of a time it will happen, and then he would miss the child. They would miss the child, and it just made me think of how children as well. They also, that's why during puberty, a lot of kids are very aggressive. They get very antagonistic towards their parents, and I don't think there's any real, like, not in the dysfunctional homes, but I'm talking about like just ordinary average homes. The anger and resentment children feel during puberty you know, especially towards their parents, you know. I feel like it is not intentional on the child's part. I think it's not, it's just that the parents are a reflection of their childhood, their, you know, not being fully fledged human beings, yeah. And then when they come into puberty, they have this shocking awakening that, oh, I am a full-fledged human being, you know, why have I been a baby? You know, most of the time they say things like, oh, I don't want to be a baby, I'm not a baby anymore, you know, I'm not a kid anymore, stop talking to me like that, you know. And I don't think it's because I'm talking about an average family now, not one that is dysfunctional, but a very normal, ordinary family, yeah. I don't think it's because the parent is doing anything bad or the child means any harm either. I think it's just growing pains. I think there's a level of separation that happens, you know, and I think this poem captures it very accurately because the parents are going to be reacting to an extent to the loss of this thing, this form of identity here that they've already plastered onto the child, because most parents have children looking at them as themselves, like, oh, this is me in another flesh, you know, this is just my carbon copy, this is me and all of that. And it's like when a child grows up, you lose that, yeah. You lose that, you can't have that anymore. Yeah, where the dysfunction comes in is when they start to try to persist, you know, and they refuse to identify or accept that this person is a an autonomous being, a sovereign entity, a being that has their own life, their own desires, and most of those things that they want from life, as you know, somebody's child, like they want, most of it will be very different from what their parents want for them, yeah, very different. And parents, they perceive it as a threat, most of them perceive it as a threat, you get, because there's a difference between a child's desire and their desire for the child. And like, you have to reflect, you have to do personal reflection as a parent, like it's just like accountability, yeah. You have to reflect that this is a fully fledged human being, and you know they have the right to make, I don't even use the word right, because when you say right, it's not as if it's something that the government is forcing you to do or to forcing you to give your child. Like, even if the government was not there, this child is going to pick up themselves and choose to live life the way they want to live life, yeah. It's not up to anybody else but themselves. You know, the only aspect I feel that parents have a leg to stand on is the love they have for this child, yeah. And I feel like because you love this child truly and deeply, you know, you can just aim to just be there for them regardless of the choices that they make, you know. You can just choose to be there for them, you know, choose to not let harm come upon them. And even your own perception of harm is going to be different from their own perception of harm. It's just inevitable. You can't make them not see things differently. So I'm going off on a tangent, but the point here is just that I think it's interesting the way the writer or the poet captured this separation as kind of like so gut wrenching, so serious, as if it's all something so serious. And the child is growing up. Like, don't you want your child to grow up, you know? And like, no, some people don't want their children to grow up. They don't want their children to grow up. They can't deal with the separation that comes with that. But this person that is writing this, that wrote this poem, has already made peace with it already, as the child is just a toddler. So now, I don't, if you don't mind, there's another poem. Of course, the book of poems. The next poem is the pity of love. Anyways, before I go on, I was wondering, like, you know, you can just tell me your own ideas about parent-child dynamic, you know. I'll just be speaking about my own ideas. So I want to hear your side. I want to hear what you think about the growth of a child, meaning separation from his parent or from their parents. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts about it. And I don't think it's limited to people that have kids. Yeah, because everybody once had parents, and you yourself, you knew how you fought for your independence, how you fought to be your own person, your own man or your own woman in this world. So I feel like you can make a comment about your feelings on that. in general. And if you have children, because I know some people have children, like my friend has children here. If you have children, you can also make commentary, even if it's opposing mine, like about the idea of a child growing up and being separate from their parents. Yeah. So I wonder about it. I'm curious. I want to hear what you think about that. Oh, it's so quiet. Oh my god. So quiet. Can you hear the silence? Wow. So quiet. Noise pollution is a real thing in this country. Oh my god. Noise pollution. They had Kipling's A Roman Empire and Undying Pyromane. I wonder if Undying Pyromane has left the chat. Hello, Tyrus. Hi, hi. Yeah, I was wondering about your thoughts on the poem and the things I was talking about. To that country invited me, Michigan, USA. Nothing, nothing. Where else? Hosting. I bet you guys want to hosting, but it's okay. What else? Mm, yeah. Hosting. Now. Any ideas that you'd like to share with me? I'm interested. I want to hear what you think. Even if they are opposing views, I like to hear them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should just keep reading then. The next poem is titled The Pity of Love. A pity beyond all telling is hid in the heart of love. The folk who are buying and selling the clouds on their journey above, the cold wet winds ever blowing, and shadowy hazel grove where miles grey waters are flowing, threatening the head that I love. Wow, okay, this is nice. Let me read it again. A pity beyond all telling is hid in the heart of love. The folk who are buying and selling, the clouds on their journey above, the cold wet wind ever blowing, and the shadowy hazel grove where miles grey waters are flowing, threaten the head that I love. I really love this. I don't even. Wow. Okay. So that was the pity of love. Let's go to the sorrow of love. The brawling of a sparrow in the eaves, the brilliant moon and all the milky sky, and all that famous harmony of leaves had blotted out man's image and his cry. A girl arose that had red mournful lips, and seemed the greatness of the world in tears, doomed like Odysseus and the labouring ships, and proud as Priam murdered with his peers. Arose, and on the instant clamorous eves a climbing moon upon an empty sky, and all that lamentation of the leaves could but compose man's image and his cry. Sorrow of love. I'm going to read it again because I like it. The brawling of a sparrow in the eaves, the brilliant moon and all the milky sky, and all that famous harmony of leaves had blotted out man's image and his cry. A girl arose that had red mournful lips, and seemed the greatness of the world in tears, doomed like Odysseus and the laboring ships, and proud as Priam peers, murdered with his peers, arose, and on the instant clamorous eves, a climbing moon upon an empty sky, and all that lamentation of the leaves could but compose man's image and his cry. Next one. When you are old. When you are old and grey and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true? But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Iris. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face, and bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. So let's try to read When You're Old again because I like it. When you're old and grey and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true? But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. I like that one too. All these ones are so nice. I think it's because they are romantic and they are telling of his love that he lost. Yeah, the woman he loved all his life, that not all his life, but for most of his life, that did not requite his love back to him. She didn't feel the same way for him. Um, I feel like this is a message to her, you know. And he is the man that murmured, to her sadly. I feel like that's what it's saying. The next poem is The White Birds. I would that we were, my beloved, white birds on the foam of the sea. We tire of the flame of the meteor before it can fade and flee, and the flame of the blue star of twilight hung low on the rim of the sky, has awakened our hearts, my beloved, a sadness that may not die. A weariness comes from those dreamers, dew dabbled lily and rose. Ah, dream not of them, my beloved. The flame of the meteor that goes, or the flame of the blue star that lingers, hung low in the fall of the dew. For I would we were changed to white birds on the wandering foam, I and you. I am haunted by numberless islands and many a Danaan shore, where time will surely forget us and sorrow come near us no more. Soon far from the rose and the lily and fret of the flames would we be, were we only white birds, my beloved, buoyed out on the foam of the sea. There's this hint of escapism, like it's not even hints, like there's this theme of escapism that is very persistent. This dog. It's very persistent through all of his poetry. I don't know where he wants to escape to. I don't know. Like, obviously, he's growing up, he's living in turbulent Ireland, so of course, he wants to leave to somewhere peaceful. And there's also the stress of not being loved back by the person that you love a whole lot. Yeah, so of course, he wants to run away with that person. And if this person that you love is very, very obsessed with freedom fight and freedom movement, hello, Musa Daudi. Hi, welcome to the stream. My name is King. I'm talking about poetry by Yeats. Where are you from? Where are you joining us from? So of course he wants to escape. Of course he wants to leave to a place where he wouldn't have troubles. Yeah, but like I think that is just noisemakers. I think that is just um, a something that is going to be while you know in this period of his life. You get, I don't know, maybe eventually makes peace with where he is and stops trying to run away, but I don't think so. From what I've seen of some poems in his later years, I don't think he ever wanted to, like he ever got to the place of contentment. Yeah. Now we're going to read. I'm going to read A Dream of Death, and I want to see if I can keep going. So, A Dream of Death. I dreamed that one had died in a strange place, near no accustomed hand, and they had nailed the boards above her face, the peasants of that land, wondering to lay her in that solitude and raised above her mound a cross they had made out of two bits of wood and planted cypress round, and left her to the indifferent stars above until I carved these words. She was more beautiful than thy first love, but now lies under the boards. Oh, this is very short. The dream of death. I dreamed that one had died in a strange place, near no accustomed hand, and they had nailed the boards above her face, the peasants of that land, wondering to lay her in that solitude and raised above her mound a cross they had made out of two bits of wood and planted cypress round, and left her to the indifferent stars above until I carved these words. She was more beautiful than thy first love, but now lies under boards. Hmm. Kind of reads as if he's talking to his wife. I think he was talking to his wife. But it was just a dream, yeah? Just a dream. I think I want to keep going. The Countess Kathleen in Paradise. That's the title of this one. All the heavy days are over. Leave the body's colored pride underneath the grass and clover, with the feet laid side by side. Bathed in flaming fount of duty, she'll not ask a haughty dress. Carry all that mournful beauty to the scented oaken press. Did the kiss of Mother Mary put that music in her face? Yet she goes with footstep worry, full of earth's old timid grace. Among the feet of angels seven, with a dancer, what a dancer glimmering. All the heavens bow down to heaven, flame to flame, and wing to wing. The Countess Kathleen in Paradise. So this person is probably this the subject of this poem is probably in heaven, I guess. And when they say all the heavens bow down to heaven, I feel like she is the heaven in capital letters, and the other heaven is just the whole environment or the people that live in heaven bowing down to this countess. Yeah. To the kiss of, and again a lot of religious imagery, like this man did not, this Yeats did not perceive of he fully believed in life after death. He fully believed in a heaven or somewhere, yeah, and he fully believed in a god to an extent, not a god to like worship. I think it's more of a god that is just this mystical being that is waiting for you after your life ends, not in punishment, I think, but more like, oh, this is just a natural movement of a soul from one plane to another plane. And you know I don't know if that makes sense. Now the title of this one is Who Goes with Fergus. Now Fergus is kind of like one of their biggest in Ireland, I mean, one of their biggest legends, yeah. Yeah, one of their biggest legends. So he was the one that fought off a whole host of nations that came to attack their country, according to the legend. Yeah. So this collection of poems, the Rose, starts off with him. So I think we're going to see a lot of figures in his writings in this collection, specifically. So now the title of Who Goes with Fergus, I assume it should be talking about Fergus in terms of war and fighting and battle and his fellow soldiers. So if you say who goes with Fergus, you can kind of think of like maybe a fellow soldier, or and again, Fergus actually fought off all of those enemies by himself, so he was always alone. You understand? So maybe this is not really a question, it's kind of like a rhetoric, like who goes with Fergus, even though everybody knows Fergus did all of the fighting by himself and he died fighting, I think, although he beat all of them, all the enemies. But let me just read and see what he's saying. Who will go drive with Fergus now and pierce the deep wood's woven shade and dance upon the level shore? Young man, lift up your russet brow and lift your tender eyelids, maid, and brood on hopes and fears no more. And no more turn aside and brood upon love's bitter mystery. For Fergus rules the brazen cars, and rules the shadows of the wood, and the white breast of the dim sea, and all the dishevelled wandering stars. So I feel in the first verse, it is a cry of people like Fergus's people crying and mourning him and saying, "Oh, who will go with him now?" And when you talk about wood, I feel like it is his coffin in a sense. Like I'm not sure, but I feel like it is a coffin. um but then this speaker in the poem says, "Young man, lift up your russet brow." Now russet is like deep orange, deep red, like kind of brownish red. That's what russet looks like as a color. So for him to say russet brow, maybe he's referring to an Irish person. And it's a very common belief that most islanders, like people from Ireland, are like redheads, yeah. So the imagery is perfect, like I think. And then he says to the young man that is mourning, and he says, "Brood on hopes and fears no more. Instead, um he now encourages them, kind of like saying that, who do you think Fergus is? Fergus rules the brazen cars and rules the shadows of the wood and the white breast of the dim sea and all the shriveled wandering stars. So Fergus is now like what, a mystical being that is also powerful, but not just in this, is no longer in this plane of reality. Since he's dead, he has gone. So he's no longer in this plane of reality. He's now continuing his presence and his might and his rule just in another plane of reality. So it's not something to mourn over, to cry over. And I think it's kind of how people comfort people that have lost loved ones. They tell them things like, "I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sure they're in a better place. They are being a very happy person. They're living a full life, just not in this plane of reality we exist anymore." And that is very religious too. The way religious people try to comfort each other, yeah, in the event of a loss of a human life. So let's see if we can finish up with this poem. The man who dreamed of fairyland. Okay, so now these people are making serious noise in the background, and it feels like I have to shout. I don't know if that will affect the reading, so I'm sorry in advance. The man who dreamed of fairyland. He stood among a crowd at Drumahair. That's the place, imagine. His hat hung all upon a silken dress, and he had known at last some tenderness before earth took him to her stony care. But when a man poured fish into a pile, it seemed they raised their little silver heads and sang what gold morning or even evening sheds upon a woven world forgotten isle, where people love beside the raveled sea, that time can never mar a lover's vows. Under that woven changeless roof of boughs, the singing shook him out of his new ease. Next paragraph. He wandered by the sands of Lysadel. His mind ran all on money cares and fears, and he had known at last some prudent years before they heaped his grave under the hill. But while he passed before a plashy place, a log worm with its grey and muddy mouth sang that somewhere to the north or west or south there dwelt a gay, exulting, gentle race under the golden or the silver skies, that if a dancer stayed his hungry foot, it seemed the sun and the moon were in the fruit, and at that singing he was no more wise. He mused beside the well of Scanavin. He mused upon his mockers without fail. His sudden vengeance were a country tale. When earthly night had drunk his body in, but one small nut grass growing by the pool sang where unnecessary cruel violence, old silence, bids its chosen race rejoice. Okay, it's kind of difficult to read this. Like, let me start this paragraph again. He mused beside the well of Scanavin. He mused upon his mockers. Without fail, his sudden vengeance were a country tale. When empty night had drunk his body in, but one small nut grass growing by the pool sang where old silence bids its choosing race rejoice. Old silence bids its choosing race rejoice. Whatever ravelled waters rise and fall, or stormy silver frets the gold. Thank you, Tyrus. Thank you. Ah, struggling. Whatever ravelled waters rise and fall, or stormy silver frets the gold of day, and midnight there enfold them like a fleece, and lover there by lover be at peace. The tale drove his fine angry mood away. And our final verse. He slept under the hill of Lognagal, and might have known at last unhaunted sleep under that cold and vapor-turbaned steep. Now that the earths are taking man and all, did not the worms that spied about his bones proclaim with that unwearied, reedy cry that God had laid his fingers on the sky, that from those fingers summer runs, from those fingers glittering summer runs upon the dancer by the dreamless wave? Why should those lovers that no lovers miss dream until God born nature with a kiss? The man has found no comfort in the grave. So I think the major thing I'm getting from here is like this man, the man who dreamed of fairyland, he's trying to die, not die actively. It's like he's already dead, yeah, but his body cannot rest because of the real world that exists, like in this place of his burial, yeah. Like they mention different locations, like the poem is mentioning different locations, one, two, three, four locations: Drummer Hill, Lysadel, Scanavin, and Lognagal, yeah. And he's doing his position differently at all of these points. He's standing among a crowd at Drummer Hill. He's wandering by the sands of Lysadel. He's musing by the well of Scanavin, and he slept under the hill of Lognagal. So he's doing different things at different locations, but there's also this persistent conversation about worms and grasses and the sea, you know, and the earth. There's like so many, like how many times they mention the earth, the earth, and it's like the earth in this instance is kind of making me think that he's in the ground. Yeah, he's in the ground because that is how the worms, he can hear the worms singing, you know. But then there's also turmoil in the real living world where I think the people that are the people that remember him, yeah, they are not allowing, their memories of him is not allowing him rest. I don't know, like that's what I'm getting, yeah. That the behavior of the people that are alive, you know, around him They are not allowing him to come to an easy rest in his grave. Like he even comes up again to take sudden vengeance upon his mockers, you know. But then they now said when Earthy Knight has drunk his body in, then you are talking about grass picking him up, growing around him, about worms that will not stay with him. Like the worms are supposed to come upon, his body and eat it up, but the worms are not eating him up. They are instead singing, crying, and they're talking about God, yeah. And it kind of ends like with this line that God has laid his fingers on the sky, that from those fingers glittering summer runs upon the dancer by the dreamless wave. Dreamless is kind of like sleeping without waking up. That's what I think of dreamless. And then he says, why should those lovers that no lovers miss dream until God born nature with a kiss? The man has found no comfort in the grave. So like because of God, it's kind of I don't know if people have read this poem, you know. This is new to me, obviously, but it just feels like as if there's this implication that God is responsible for him not finding peace in death, because maybe of the life that he has lived and the memories of the people that think of him. Just this Yeats, oh my God. There's this channel on YouTube that talks about that is the person is a professor here, and they teach and explain poetry. And I read one of his explanation of Yeats poem, and it was so clear. It was so easy for me to get what he was saying. I was like, oh my God, that's what it means to be a professor, of poetry. You get not that's not the exact title, but he's someone that went to school, studied poetry, and he's now a professor in it. You get, so obviously, yeah. There's so many background he was talking about. I don't remember the name of the channel, Sha, but it's a very great channel, and I wish I could join his classes. Like obviously he's going to have classes here to support, because how much are they paying a teacher? So he has classes, reading groups and all of that on his channel and all of that. And I wish I could join it, but I know that one day I'll be able to join all those kind of classes. Yeah, one day, like when my channel grows as well, so I'll be able to join like courses like that. And this professor is in the UK, I think, because he has an accent, obviously. So he's in the UK, and then obviously that the cost and all of that will be in pounds, all of that, whatever. But I just believe that those are the kind of things I want to really explore with my channel, like the growth of my channel, like the things I want to do with my income. Yeah, I want to do a lot of reading stuff. Um, what is her name? I think her name is Emma something. The name of the poet I was trying to recall. The female poet. I said I want to look for her story, like her books next. I hope I find her books the next time I go to buy books from my the store I buy secondhand books from. There's no real catalog. You just go there and you search and you hope to find like wonderful gems. The way I found this one. No, I didn't find this one there, but the way I found the gems I read on this channel, yeah, you just go there and you hope to find. So I hope he stocks up on something like that, like a poetry collection by what is her name? I think her name is Emma something. Is there any poet named Emma? She's so like she's a classical, like she's one of the her works is one of the classic, yeah. So I want to remember her name. I think she's also British. Maybe I'll remember it. If I don't remember it, I'll comment it when I find it after the stream ends. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. We are done reading, and we went so far today. Wow, we went so far. I loved all of the poems I read. A fairy song, the Lake Isle of Innisfree, a cradle song, um, The Pity of Love, The Sorrow of Love, When You Are Old, The White Birds, A Dream of Death, The Countess, Kathleen in Paradise. Yeah, I do. I do. Who Goes with Fergus, The Man Who Dreamed of Fairyland. Like those poems, we read a lot today. Oh. I think because most of them are also pretty short verses, so it was kind of fun to just get through them, and like the language was also fairly simple. The most difficult one I encountered is this A Man Who Dreamed of Fairyland. Yeah, I think that's the most difficult one, and I wish I had, like, there's this textbook that you can buy, critical theory or something that I saw at the store that day, not store but this same bookshop, and I could not buy it because of, when I'm much fluid financially, I'll be able to buy any book I want to buy and attend classes that I want to attend. Oh my god. So I just hope people support the channel more, watch my videos, share it, like it, leave comments, that would be really helpful. If you have any other way you want to help, my email is there, my Instagram is there, my description. Yeah, that is something that I have been thinking about, sort of in the periphery of my mind growing up. But um compared to back when I was way younger and I used to read tons and tons of books, and now I feel a little bit more confident, yeah, that I will be able to write my book. But like, it's just, I feel underqualified. I feel like I have to study up more on writing and how to write. There is a story also in my head or something, not a story, there's just stuff I want to write, but there's no real, it's just nebulous right now, there's no real concrete substance to it. Yeah, but like, I appreciate words like this, because when people say things like, oh, you can write a book, it makes me feel like, oh yeah, I'm sure people are seeing something that's reflecting on the inside of me. Yeah, and it's like, I want to see it as well, and I hope that, I trust myself that when I begin to see, what you guys are seeing, what you see, I feel like my book will come much faster to life. Not fast, but more like I would begin to see what I want to write, my stories I want to write. Even my siblings, they tell me things like, are you not going to write? Try to write this thing now, write. And I'm like, I know that I want to write, and I know that there's something for me to write, but just to put my hand. Thank you, Tyrus. I don't know how wonderful, your words are just like hitting me nicely. Like, oh, thank you for the encouragement. Like, I want to write. Like, I hope, not hope, I know that I will write. Yeah, I just know that I will write, but I don't think about it too much so that I don't tear myself into pieces, thinking about how to start. Yeah, I just want to, like, I feel like it's cool to hear things like this. So I'll just have it as a possibility for myself, and I'll keep trusting myself to bring it to life. Yeah. So when I start writing, you guys will be the first to know that I've started writing my book. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So, anyways, I've come to the end of this stream. I might come back later online, maybe after I've eaten lunch and rested a bit. I might come back. I don't know. I'm not yet sure. But if not, yeah, that's the hard part. How do I put my heart on paper? My heart is big and full of a lot of things, and it goes on different type of tangents. How am I going to tame one to put it on paper here? But I'll try. I'll start thinking about it. Yeah, I'll start thinking about it, and I'll let you know when it starts properly. When I've started properly. So, anyways, we've come to the end of the stream. I might come back today, later, I don't know. But if not later today, I'm coming tomorrow by 1 p.m. my time, Nigerian time. I don't know when that is your own time, but tomorrow I'll be here. I hope I have, supplies to come online, like data, and lights to come online, so that you will not miss me. But anyways, thank you so much for joining my stream. Thank you, Dairos. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I will see you in the next room. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Tyros, enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, don't stress. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead, and I hope your work is not so stressful. Okay, make sure you take your breaks. And for people that are on work leaves, thank you for spending time with me on my stream. You are beautiful people. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of the day. Yeah, I'm serious. Make sure you rest. Make sure you don't stress yourself. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Okay. And you can reach me on my Instagram or my email anyhow. So bye, 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 bye.